Carpathians, Return of the Ancients, The Battle of the Yeti, Werewolves, and Wendigo. Prologue. 1,000 years had passed since the Carpathian mountains trembled from the battle between the Yeti and the werewolves. The icy peaks still remembered the day when the white giants dealt a devastating blow to the shapeshifters, forcing them to retreat into the deep forests. Since then, the world had changed. Humans had forgotten these creatures, considering them mere myths. But the darkness that slumbered in the heart of the mountains was not vanquished forever. From the depths of the ages, a new threat was returning: the Wendigo. These were spirits of insatiable hunger that appeared during the coldest winters when death lingered in the air. They were faster than the werewolves and stronger than the Yeti. Wherever their skeletal paws stepped, only emptiness remained. Dark signs. The werewolves were the first to sense the threat. Over the past millennium, their tribe had been reborn, though they lived in the shadows. Their new leader, Greyclaw, was horrified to discover that his hunters had begun disappearing without a trace. He found only bones, gnawed clean, in tracks that belonged to neither wolves nor beasts. The Yeti, still dwelling high in the mountains, also saw signs of trouble. The wind carried an unfamiliar scent, and at night cries echoed that they had not heard for centuries. The elder, Stormbreaker the Younger, grandson of the legendary warrior, understood something had awakened. An alliance of enemies. When the first Wendigo emerged from the darkness, it became clear that old wars had lost their meaning. So, on a night of the frost moon, Greyclaw led his werewolves to the foot of the mountains, seeking negotiations. He stood before the Yeti caves and called out, "We are enemies, but now both you and we face a new predator. If we do not unite, the Carpathians will become their prey." Stormbreaker the Younger remained silent for a long time before answering, "If a new evil has come, we must destroy it. But remember, Wolf, betrayal will mean death." Thus, an unimaginable alliance was forged. The first battle. The next night, the Wendigo appeared for the first time. They moved silently, their hollow eyes glowing with cold fire. Their presence was not accompanied by growls or screams, only the sharp scent of decay and blood. When the first Wendigo lunged at a Yeti, the giant grabbed it and smashed it against a rock. But the others did not falter. The werewolves struck with swift attacks, tearing at their skeletal bodies. The Wendigo felt no pain. They rose again and again. The battle raged until dawn. The Yeti and werewolves lost many warriors. It became clear: brute force alone would not destroy this enemy. The ancient ritual. The elder of the werewolves, a gray-haired sorceress named Oksana, recalled an ancient legend. The only way to destroy the Wendigo was to burn their heart in the sacred fire that burned in the ancient temple of the mountain spirits. "Fire is the only thing they fear," she said, "but to reach the temple, we must pass through the forgotten lake, where cursed souls rest." Greyclaw and Stormbreaker the Younger did not hesitate. They gathered their best warriors and set out on a journey that could be their last. The journey through the forgotten lake. The journey was terrifying. The lake seemed endless, and ominous shadows lurked in its waters. The warriors heard the voices of the dead calling their names. One werewolf could not resist and stepped into the water. Her scream froze the blood in their veins as the hands of the dead dragged her beneath the surface. "Do not listen to them," Stormbreaker shouted. "Keep moving forward." And so they went on. The final battle. The temple was an ancient stone structure hidden among the cliffs. Inside, an eternal sacred fire burned, never extinguished for millennia. But the Wendigo were already waiting for them. The ground shook as they attacked. The werewolves fought with claws and fangs. The Yeti crushed their foes, but the dark creatures did not stop. Then Greyclaw lunged forward, tearing out the heart of the strongest Wendigo. He grabbed it and threw it into the fire. The Wendigo screamed. Their bodies began to dissolve. The darkness that had enveloped the mountains vanished. The warriors collapsed from exhaustion, watching as their enemy finally perished. The end or the beginning? From that moment, the Carpathians became peaceful once more. The werewolves and the Yeti returned to their homes, no longer at war. But the legend says, if ever the Carpathians tremble in terror again, they will stand side by side once more. And if the wind howls at night, it is the voices of ancient warriors, still guarding these lands against a new evil.